Hey ladies, this video is going to be about making money in a strip club. This is going to be a video with a tip, one of the gazillion tips I have. For some reason, I'm feeling inspired to talk about strip club stuff today, and I'm going to tell you a way that can make you a lot of money. It's just one of the many tips and tricks and strategies I have to share with you. But let's talk about this really quickly for the people that have not been here before, who don't know what's going on. I just had my face snatched. My provider man, my second runner-up in my roster, my second runner-up provider man just bought me a snatched face, and I'm a bit swollen today, so, well, because I was flying all day yesterday. I'm in California right now. I'm here to see Billy Carson. I'm gonna see Billy Carson tomorrow. If you guys know who he is, if you are a subscriber of Shira7, you probably, or a Shira Star Goddess, that's usually where she talks about the Billy Carson stuff. So if you know about Shira, then you most likely know about Billy Carson. So I'm here to see him tomorrow. We're having this private event. There's a private event being held, and there's gonna be some people there. I think it's gonna be like a pretty intimate type of event. I'm really looking forward to it. I really love Billy Carson's teachings, so I'm gonna go spend the day with him and his people over there. No, I won't be wearing this. That's why I'm wearing it now. I'm trying to get my swelling down. I swell up when I go on airplanes. So my face is swollen today. I'm just trying to get it to settle down before tomorrow. And I'm gonna see him tomorrow, and then in a few days, I'm going up to Beverly Hills and I'm gonna get my torso plasty. I'm gonna get my torso snatched. It's not a tummy tuck, it's a torso plasty. We'll talk about that later in another video if you guys are interested. So let's get into the video. This is about strippers making money. This is a way you can make money, but you have to team up with another girl you work with. It's a two-lady strategy. Okay, this is what you do. So get your bestie in the club, and you guys come to an agreement, okay? And this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna talk shit about her, and she's gonna talk shit about you to the guys, okay? So what you're gonna do is you are gonna go to that guy over there who's sitting at the bar, and she's gonna go to that guy over there who's sitting at the stage, and you're just gonna like sit down with him, and you girls are both gonna be saying the same thing about each other. You're going to sit down with him and be like, hi, how are you? How's your night going? And he's gonna be like, how's your night going? And you're gonna say, well, it's okay, I'm just kind of like in a bad mood right now. And he's gonna be like, why? And then you're gonna say, well, that girl over there, she's really messing everything up for all the girls in the club. Like, you know, I've been working here a really long time, and this is like a very good, clean club. Nobody does anything too risky. You know, we're here to perform because we are artists and we love to dance and we love to entertain. But some of these girls, I don't know where they come from. They must come from some other kind of dirty club. And then they come in here and they start messing things up. And then you're gonna be like, so I was in the private dance room in the back, and I was walking by her booth, and I happened to see something I could not believe. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw what she was doing in her private dance. Yep. Again, this is not the first time I've seen her doing this. The manager won't do anything about it either. I reported her a bunch of times. She's hogging up all the money in the whole entire club. Nobody else is making money because she's just getting all the guys. And it's like, can you believe that she would disrespect herself like that? Can you believe that she would just, like, we're here to dance. We are here to perform and dance. And that's why the guys are here. I mean, most of the guys here are good men. You know, they're like married men. They just want to come here to look and talk. They're not trying to do anything freaky back there. come on. Like, we have a lot of really nice guys here that aren't like that. They're just here because they want to drink a beer and they want some company and they want to look, but they don't want to touch. They don't want to do anything they're not supposed to be doing. And of course, he's gonna be like, yeah, he's just gonna like listen to what you're saying. And then you're gonna say, yeah, she does this thing where she hogs all the money, right? Like, she'll take a guy back there for a dance and it's $20. And what she'll do is she'll do one dance and then she'll ask him for another one and another one. And she'll do like 10 dances. And then at around the 10th dance, that's when she starts doing really uncouth things, very self-disrespecting things. You know what kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yeah. That's when she starts. It's like, she'll get the guy back there and she'll do like 10 songs with him. And right around the 10 song mark is where she starts doing all the stuff she's not supposed to be doing back there. It's really embarrassing for the club. And like, it's just messed up because now the guy is out $200. And what we really wanted to happen was he would do one dance with me, one dance with her, one dance with her, one dance with her. So all the girls in the club can make money from him. But she goes and she hogs all of his money and she gets it all for herself. So that's what she does. She does like 10 dances and then she starts getting frisky. And then he ends up staying back there for like another 10 dances. And now it's like $400 he spent on one girl. And all the other girls are sitting here, like, we have bills to pay. We have to pay for school. Like, we have kids. We have to buy food. We got to pay the house fee. We got to pay the house mom. We have to pay the DJ. It's just so selfish and greedy of her. And I'm just tired of these kind of girls. Every once in a while, we'll get a girl like that that'll come in the club and mess it up for all the other girls. And now the rest of us are just going to sit around here bored all night. Well, she's taking all the money. Yeah, it's just like not really a good night. That's all. Actually, no, I have to go to the dressing room now. I got to go call my grandma. She's kind of sick right now. But actually, before I go, do you want to do a lap dance with me? And then he's going to be like, oh, no, I'm just hanging out. I'm just having a beer tonight. Not tonight. Of course he's going to say that because you just told him that you only dance. You're not freaky at all. There's absolutely no hope that maybe you'll cross a line in the back room, which would be his fantasy. So he's going to say no to you. And then you're going to go walk away. What do you think the first thing is that he is going to do? He is going to wait for you to walk away and he's going to say, that girl over there, she's the freaky one. He's going to go right up to her and he's going to be like, hey, you want to do a lap dance? And he's going to take her in the back so fast. And he already has it in his mind that she doesn't start doing freaky stuff until like the 10th song. So he already knows, all right, so I got to do like 10 songs. So it's going to be $200. And then that's when things are going to get really, really spicy. That's when all the fun is going to start. So he's already expecting to drop $200, $300, $400 back there. And that's the first thing he's going to do. He's going to run across the room. He's going to go and get her. He's going to take her in the back. And he's going to do at least 10 dances with her. Maybe when number 11 comes and she doesn't do anything more than what she's been doing, he's going to be like, well, maybe like 12, maybe 12 dances will get her to start getting freaky. 13, 14. At some point, he's going to be like, what the hell? She's not being freaky with me. She's just doing normal lap dances. And at some point, maybe at song 15 or 20, who knows, he's going to, eventually say, okay, I think we're done. Okay. And each song she does, she's going to be like, do you want another one? Do you want another lap dance? You want another one? You want another one? And for the first 10, he's going to say, yes, 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 yes. Of course I do. Of course I want another one. after the 10, 1, 11, 12, 13, 14, he's going to start to wonder, like, I thought she gets freaky after 10 dances. Why is it taking her so long? At some point, he's going to run out of money, or he's going to say, oh, I guess maybe she doesn't like me. You know, maybe, I don't know why, but she's not doing what I thought she was going to do. And then, you know, maybe the girl will be around like song 13, 14 and nothing is happening. And she's like, you want another one? He's going to be like, no, I got to get home. I got to go. It's getting late. Nice meeting you. And then he's going to leave. And she's going to have minimum $200 in her garter belt, probably more. And what do you think he's going to do at song 10 if she doesn't start getting freaky? What's he going to do? Start screaming? What the hell? I heard that you do freaky stuff after the 10th song. You better start now, B. He's not going to do that. Like, what kind of psycho is going to do that? That's going to be extremely rare. He's going to pay her a little more and test it out a little more and see, okay, well, maybe she needs 12, 13, 14 songs. Then maybe she'll start. He's going to realize she's not going to do all this stuff for me. And he's just going to run out of money. He's not going to call her out on it. She's not the one who said she was going to do that. She never had a deal with him. She never said, oh, if you take me in the back room and you give me $200, I'm going to do all this uncouth, freaky stuff. She never said that. This is an idea. He came to her. He walked up to her and asked her for the dance. He had this in his mind because he heard it from you when you were talking all that crap about her. See? It's not her fault. She has no idea what is going on. She doesn't know what's going on in his head, what his expectation is, nothing like that. So, you see how this works, ladies? You talk crap about her, and she goes to the other side of the room, and she talks crap about you to some other guy. Now those guys are going to come looking for you, ladies, and you already know they're going to spend at least $200, most likely a bit more. So that's how you and your friend can help each other make $200 or more dollars. And you can do this like every hour. Every hour, you just have to keep track of the guys so, you know, things don't get messy, because if you go and say all that crap about her and then she says that crap about you and then you end up getting mixed up and confused, the guys could figure out what is going on. So you only want each guy to hear the story from one girl, not from the two of you. So keep track of your men, okay? And take notes. If you have, you know, like a little purse thing you carry with you on stage, have like a little notebook and write down notes on, you know, like what color shirt he's wearing, what color tie he's in, you know, something about him so you can remember which guy is which one and which one you already told the story to. All right. So this is a way you can make a lot of money in the club, and you don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to cross any of your own personal boundaries. You don't have to do anything like that. It's not your fault that he came to you with some crazy idea in his mind because of what some jealous stripper on the other side of the room is saying about you. So you'll be completely innocent, and he's not going to say, what the hell? I thought you were going to do more. That bee over there told me that you're promiscuous and you're a slut, and now you're not living up to what I wanted you to do. Like that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. He's just going to walk away a little disappointed, wishing that you did all that freaky stuff with him that the other girl said she saw you doing with somebody else. Okay? So that's all you got to do. You just need another girl in the club to play the game with you. Don't tell too many girls about this. Just do it with like one other girl, because if you have too many girls in on this together, it can get messy and the guys can figure it out. If you're in like a small kind of club where you have like a lot of regulars, I wouldn't mess with this too much. This is more for girls that are working the circuit. They're hopping from club to club to club, you know, maybe with a friend. If you're in very touristy areas in big cities where guys come in, you know, they come and go very quickly, like you'll never see them again, like in those kind of places. If you're working in like a smaller town club where most of your money is just coming from regulars, then this isn't great for that. This is better for busy clubs where the guys, you'll probably never see them again, so it doesn't matter. This really, really works. Or if you are working in small little hometown clubs, but you're working the circuit, so you're not going to be there for a long time. Okay, you're just popping in for a weekend and then you're moving to the next city and the next city and the next city and the next city. It's fine to do it in that way too, because you're not going to be around. So you can go there and you can do it to all the regulars of the club if you want. And it won't really matter. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. That is your strip club money-making tip for the day, presented to you by Lola Divinity. All right, now we can talk more about plastic surgery. Okay, so I had the facelift. It's really doing great. My face looks amazing. It looks so natural, so pretty. All my bruises are pretty much gone. It's been about 21 days at this point. Feeling pretty good. I'm still stiff. There's a lot of things I can't do. There's some swelling still. And but I'm really loving my results. My jaw is so snatched. These lines right here are no longer as deep as they used to be. My eyelids, I did not have an upper blepharoplasty. I don't remember the name of it, but where they cut you on the top of the head and they pull like your whole face back. That's what I had done, and it looks super natural. I did not have to get an... That's my stutter, you guys. Give me a second. I did not have to get an upper blepharoplasty. Luckily, I'll probably do an upper bleph later on in my life at some other point when I'm a bit older, but for right now, I didn't need it. And things are looking really good. I also did not get a fat transfer. The doctor told me I did not need a fat transfer. Okay, I've had a fat graft before in the past, not with a facelift, just a fat graft all by itself, a preorbital fat graft. He said, I don't really need a fat graft. He said, when he pulls my face up, the fat that has fallen down, okay, this particular doctor, his theory is that we don't really lose facial fat. What happens is as the face sags, the fat falls down. So like under the eyes, it will look like you've got these big hollows, like your fat has like shriveled up and you just don't have the fat. You just don't have the fat anymore. But what he says is that you don't actually lose the fat, it just falls down. So when you pull the face up doing a deep plane facelift like he did to me, you're just taking the fat that fell down and you're putting it back up where it used to be. So part of me does believe that. I do also think we lose some of our fat. I mean, I'll never really know. All I know is that when I had a fat graft done before, it looked really good. And I know that this time I just had a facelift with no fat graft and it looks really good. It looks really good both ways. Different doctors have different techniques and just different beliefs and different ways of doing things. So I trusted him and I am really pleased with the results so far. And it's only the beginning. I mean, I do know that right now, because I do have swelling, it might actually look a little better right now because things are very full. As the months go on and all this swelling goes away, I may wish I had a little more fat in my face. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's hard to tell right now the difference between how much fat is in my face and how much swelling is in my face. But even like my forehead, it doesn't even look like I need any Botox right now. My number 11 is completely gone. And I'm not sure if it's because he pulled my whole forehead back and just, you know, like straightened out my skin, like stretched it out to where the wrinkles on my forehead are gone. It may have something to do with that, but it also may partly be due to the fact that they're swelling in my forehead. So obviously when they're swelling, your skin looks more smooth, it looks younger. But we'll see. We'll see soon as the swelling goes down. If my number 11 comes back, it's okay if it does, because I will go to my very favorite person for Botox, Dr. Mendoza in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. He does the best Botox I've ever had before. If you ladies are interested, you can look him up. His Botox is really, really, really great. He does baby Botox. It's the best kind I've ever gotten. My face still moves. Everything looks natural. Nobody can tell. It doesn't last very long, but I like that because I've had bad Botox in the past where I was stuck like that for months and it like wouldn't go away. So for me personally, I like the baby Botox. He puts less in for a softer appearance, a softer, more natural appearance, but you do have to go more frequently. And I'm okay with that because if anything were to go wrong, you know, like a droopy eyelid or something like that, I don't have to wait that long for it to wear off. Okay. I like to play it safe. I would rather just go more frequently and just get, you know, a little less done and just go more. But that's for me personally because I have like a weird kind of forehead. I have a very small forehead, and my eyebrows spock very, very easily with Botox. That's why I love his Botox. He's never made me spock. With all the other people I've had give me Botox, I had spocking. If you ladies know what that is, I'm sure a lot of you do. It's where you look like Spock from Star Trek. Where your eyebrows like turn into McDonald's golden arches. Yeah, it's really not a good look. And then you're stuck like that for months. So because of the type of forehead I have, I spock very, very easily. It's just my forehead and the way my eyebrows are. So I need it done a very exact way. In fact, the first couple times I got Botox, I told myself, I'm like, I don't think I'll ever do this again. It didn't, like, it got rid of the wrinkles, but it made me look weird. I had like a weird forehead and weird eyebrows and it didn't look natural. And I look at pictures of it now too, and I really didn't like it. But with the doctor I see in Santo Domingo, that does not happen. Everything looks soft and natural and it moves and my eyebrows are in a great position. So let's talk about torsoplasty. So in the past, many years ago, I did have a tummy tuck after my first child. So I have a scar from here to here. This was like 20 something years ago, 25 years ago, probably 24 years ago, I had the tummy tuck. So I have a scar from here to here. I can hardly even see the scar anymore. It was so long ago. But what happened after that, like at that point in my life, I really didn't think, you know, I was young too. I was like 18. So I didn't think I was ever going to have any more kids. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to have one kid. And I went in there getting the tummy tuck with the belief in my mind I was never going to get pregnant again because I was young and I was silly. Okay. Lo and behold, I got pregnant 2 more times and had 2 more kids. So I got pregnant after having a tummy tuck. For me, what happened was, because he had flattened my stomach out and pulled it nice and tight, when I got pregnant, my stomach re-stretched, obviously. You know, my abdomen re-stretched, and it didn't really stretch on the bottom very much. I stretched more up here on top, and I have loose skin in my upper abdomen, but my lower abdomen is very tight. I will probably make a video of my torso and put it at the Sugar Lady Academy so you ladies can see it. You know, if you're interested in this type of surgery, I will show you my torso and the condition of my skin and everything that is going on with my midsection. So look out for that video. It'll come up soon probably. All right. And I'll make some videos of the torsoplasty. I think they're actually gonna film it too. So if I can get that, I'll put that at the Sugar Lady Academy too, so you can see my before and my after, and you can see what the surgery looks like too, like while they're doing it, if you're into that kind of stuff. I like gross stuff like that. When it comes to plastic surgery, I could watch it all day. It does not gross me out. I love it. So when I got pregnant, I stretched more in my upper abdomen because I think because he had sewed this so nice and tightly. So when I got pregnant the next 2 times, as my belly grew, all this skin stretched more to accommodate my baby. So my babies, so I have more loose skin on the top, all around here, more than I do down here. So a regular tummy tuck is not really going to help me as much as, you know, as you would think it would. A regular tummy tuck, if I were to do another one of the problems would be is that, okay, right now I still have my natural belly button. I will lose my natural belly button. It'll be down really, really low. So he's gonna have to cut me this way and cut me this way and make me a new belly button. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't want to do a reverse abdominoplasty where they do a tummy tuck, where they do it this way, where they pull it up. I don't want to do that because I'm going to have a big scar in between my breasts and underneath. When I wear something that shows cleavage, I don't want a scar. I don't want a scar in between my breasts. That's something I don't want to have. So with the torsoplasty, he also calls it hourglassing. It's Dr. Katzen in Beverly Hills. He cuts along the sides. I personally would prefer to have cuts on my sides than to have one across, you know, between my breasts. And the other additional benefit to getting cut on the sides is that when he cuts you here and then he pulls the skin back together, he's pulling your abdomen tight by going like this. But what he's also doing is he's taking off back fat. So for me, I have a lot of natural back fat and back skin, no matter what weight I'm at, even when I'm at my lowest weight. And I've been all different weights, ladies, throughout the years. I've been big, I've been medium, I've been pretty skinny. I had a weight loss surgery too. We can talk about that another time. I did it in Mexico years ago. It really worked. It helped a lot. So when he does the torsoplasty, he's going to cut all the way down the sides, and then he's going to grab all this. He's going to cut all this skin off and then sew it up nice and tightly. So when he's pulling this in to make your stomach nice and flat and get rid of the extra skin, he's also going to take off all this back fat, and I have a lot of it. Even when I'm super skinny, I just have this loose skin. So I'm going to flatten out my front, and he's going to take off the back fat, and it's going to give a nice hourglass appearance. So he's going to do this. See how that also narrows the waist? Because it's going to do this. It's going to make my waist appear more narrow. With a tummy tuck, if you have like a bulge in the front, you know, like rolls of skin, having a regular tummy tuck will definitely flatten you out, but it doesn't necessarily narrow the waist. So a lot of times when they do a tummy tuck, they will also do some liposuction around here. I'm no longer a good candidate for liposuction because I've had so much liposuction. I don't have any fat stores left here. There's no more fat pockets left. I actually have had over liposuction because I've had so many cosmetic procedures throughout my life. And like, for instance, when I had my BBL, they had to go in and take even more fat out, and they were scrounging to find enough fat for my BBL. Like at the time I got my BBL, I had already had multiple rounds of liposuction in the past. When I was getting that liposuction, I never knew I was going to get a BBL. If I would have known back in my younger years, I would have not let them give me all that liposuction without using it to transfer into my butt. but I didn't know about the BBL at that time. So I was getting liposuction. They were taking that beautiful, amazing virgin fat and they were throwing it in the trash. I could have had a butt this big if I would have saved all that fat, but I didn't know, and I had multiple rounds of liposuction. They threw it all in the garbage. By the time I came around to wanting a BBL and knowing about it, you know, when it started to become more popular, I had already given up my fat stores. So, I mean, they found enough fat and they gave me a very nice BBL, which I do like to this day. I enjoy it. I like it. I think it looks really natural on me. You can't even tell it's fake. It has given me a very proportionate type of body, which I enjoy. But they did have to go very aggressive on my abdomen to get enough fat out. Okay, they took fat from here and my sides and here, but because I had so much liposuction previously, it was hard to get enough fat. So they really had to dig hard to get the fat to transfer into my butt. And when they were digging hard, they made dents. So I have dents in my stomach, which is one of the consequences of liposuction. It happens to a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of you ladies know what I'm talking about. And it can happen the first time you get liposuction. You can end up with dents. It's just more common the more liposuction you get. So I have some dents in my abdomen where they took out too much fat because we were in desperate search of fat to, have enough for the BBL. There's that. Oh, so when I get the torsoplasty, it's going to pull everything tight to where you won't be able to see the dents as much. So that's another reason I want to do the torsoplasty. I want to pull this skin nice and tight and taut so that the dents are smoothed out and it just looks prettier. Yes, I'm going to have 2 big scars on the side, but I'm willing to exchange. Yeah, I'm willing to make the trade-off. So that's another thing, is if you're going to do plastic surgery, you need to understand there are benefits and drawbacks. Nothing is going to be perfect. If you fix one thing, it's going to break something else. This is something women find out the hard way because they go into plastic surgery in a fantasy. You cannot do this in a fantasy, with a fantasy running through your mind. You must know that one part of you is going to look better and something else is going to look worse. I've done lots and lots and lots and lots of plastic surgeries for the past 20-something years, and this is what I have learned. Every time I have gotten a surgery, there's always a drawback. There's always going to be a big ugly scar. There's going to be, for instance, right, when I first started getting liposuction, I would get, like my stomach done, my back done, and what would happen? Months later, I would start to notice. I would get a bigger double chin, fatter arms. Why? Because when they do liposuction, they take the fat pocket out. That doesn't mean you're going to stay skinny forever. It means that area of your body, like when you eat and you gain weight, you're still going to gain weight. It's just going to go somewhere else. So if you liposuction all of this and you gain 10 pounds, it's not going to be very noticeable here because you don't have the fat pockets to hold the fat the way you used to. But your face is going to get chubbier. Your arms will get chubbier. Your back fat up here will get chubbier. Your thighs, your calves, your butt, For some people, it genetically works out and all their fat will just go to their boobs and their butt. But for most people, you're not going to be that lucky. You're going to get a fatter face. You're going to get fat arms. So just be aware of that. Let me see, what else can go wrong? numbness, things like that. When you get your breasts done, they may look fuller and better and prettier, but most likely one's going to be a little up, one's going to be a little further down. One of your nipples might be pointing a little bit this way and the other one might be straight. It's very, very rare. Okay, we're dealing with the human body here. To get it perfectly symmetrical is almost impossible. You have to go in with realistic expectations that your surgeon, as great as he is a human and he can only do so much with what you bring to him. He can improve you. He cannot make you perfect. He cannot make you perfect. He can do his best to get you as close to perfect as possible. But then, even when things are too perfect and too symmetrical, especially when it comes to the face, you start to look overdone. So you need to be realistic when you're getting plastic surgery. It's not going to be everything you imagined. So just understand that and be aware of that so you can be happy. If you go in knowing that you're trading one thing for another, like for instance, I'm going to trade in this undesirable looking loose skin with dents on my abdomen. That is going to go away, but now I'm going to have 2 ugly scars on my side. Okay, I'm willing to make that deal. That's a good trade-off for me. For other people, that would not be a good trade-off. But for me, it is. That's why I'm moving forward, but I'm going with realistic expectations. And I also know that when he's going to pull all this skin back, it's going to pull my breasts apart a little bit. The placement of my breasts is going to change. My boobs are going to have less cleavage and they're going to be pointed out a little bit more. I'm okay with that because you know what? In my mind, boobs do stuff like that, you know? Some people naturally have boobs that point more downward. Some people have boobs that point more outward. Like, to me, that's not that big of a deal. But for some people, that might really bother you. So you have to understand that if you get the torsoplasty, you're going to lose some cleavage. It's got to be a good trade-off for you. So you have to think long and hard before you go through these things and do your research and watch different YouTube channels and get as much information as you possibly can on how these things work out. I guess that's enough for today. I have to go do some errands to get ready for Billy Carson tomorrow. I'm really excited. I gotta go to the store. I gotta get some things. I need to eat my food. I've lost some weight these past couple of weeks. I've really been buckling down with my food program. As you guys know, I'm in a special food addiction program. And I weigh and measure all of my food. I eat a ton of food, okay? Don't think just because I weigh and measure like I'm weighing and measuring to make sure I don't eat too much. It's not even necessarily that. It's also so I get enough food so that I am full and I am nourished and my body doesn't need to go into binge eating episodes. So the purpose of weighing and measuring is, yes, to make sure you don't overeat, but also to make sure you don't undereat, because a lot of times people are undereating at their meals and they don't even realize it. And to make sure that you're getting enough carbs, enough proteins, enough fats, enough vegetables. You know, having 20 ounces of carbs as a meal is very different than having 4 ounces of carbs, 8 ounces of vegetables, however many ounces of protein. Like 20 ounces and 20 ounces, doesn't do the same thing in the body. It's important to weigh and measure all the different foods you're eating so that you're getting the proper ratios. Why is that important? Because it's not just about how many calories you're consuming. It's about nutrition. It has a lot to do with nutrition, and making sure that your meals are actually balanced is going to be one of the things that can stop you from having binge eating episodes. So I'm just touching on that a little bit because I've been having some requests from people that want to know more about my food stuff. So I'm going to make my meal. What am I eating today? Well, I'm traveling. So when I'm traveling, I like to keep it really, really, really simple. I go to the grocery store and I keep it basic. I will literally eat the same meal every single day while I'm traveling because I don't like decision fatigue and having to worry about my food and think about it and have it, on my mind all the time. No, I just eat the same thing. So I'm going to be out here for 15 days. I'm literally going to eat the same thing for 15 days. And it does not bother me. I've been doing this food program for so long. Food is not like the master of my universe like it used to be, because I am a food addict in recovery. So now that I'm in the recovery space, food is no longer controlling me. I control the food, and the thoughts I have about food are very different because I've been following the program for so long. So I can eat the same thing for several days in a row and it does not bother me. Food is for nourishment, not for like pleasure and getting high and using it like a drug or using it as something to like help me with my stress or with my emotions. No, it's for nourishment. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, eat to live instead of live to eat. I used to live to eat, and now I eat to live. And it's a much more peaceful place. Psychologically, I feel more poised. And I don't feel like food is running the show all day long. Me thinking about, oh, when's my next meal? Oh, what am I going to have? Oh, what's my next snack? Oh, I said I wasn't going to have that, but you know what? I'm just going to have a little anyway, and then feel like I've abandoned myself, and I lied to myself again, and I said I was going to eat some, a certain thing today, and then I went and had pizza instead, and like I don't go through things like that very often at all anymore. I can't say I never have those thoughts and feelings and situations, but maybe it's like 12 times a year, 10 or 12 times a year, when it used to be 12 times a day. Like I lived in mental food chaos every single day of my life for most of my life until I got into this food program. Now, most of my days are very peaceful around food. And yes, from time to time, things flare up. I find myself acting out behaviors with food. There have been times I stopped weighing and measuring my food. There's been times I forgot my food scale, and I'm just like eyeballing my portions, and that's when all the chaotic thoughts start coming back into the mind. But I have the food program and they help me so much, and my life is a lot better with it than without it. So what am I eating today? I went to the grocery store yesterday when I landed here in San Diego. I bought bags of basmati rice that go in the microwave to make it very simple and very easy to make my meals. I bought beans. So my beans are going to be my protein. I'm doing 6 ounces of beans. Actually, I'm going to do 3 ounces of beans. Right now, I'm only doing 2 ounces of rice per meal because I'm shedding weight because I want to go into surgery next week. Very, very slim. Why do I want to be as slim as possible? Because I want my skin to be as loose as possible so he can cut the most amount of skin off. So the slimmer I am for this, the better results I'm gonna get. So I've been buckling down, I've been losing weight. So I took half of my grain out of each one of my meals, and I've already shed a bunch of weight the past couple of weeks. So right now, because I'm preparing for surgery, I'm doing 2 ounces of grain. So it's 2 ounces of rice. I'm gonna do 3 ounces of beans. My other 3 ounces of protein is going to be hummus. And then I do 10 ounces of raw vegetables, which for this whole next couple of weeks is just going to be bell peppers and cucumbers. Why? Because I don't wanna have to worry about cooking while I'm traveling. I don't wanna have to worry about, using pots and pans and all these things. I just wanna take my vegetables, chop them up. They are raw, they are easy to prepare. I dip them in the hummus. I get my 10 ounces of vegetables per meal into my body. And then the rice and the beans, they go right in the microwave. They're done in like 2 minutes. And then for my fat, I'm using olive oil. And then I do 0.5 ounces of olive oil. I put, like a little bit of spike or a little bit of salt on that. And that's what I eat. And it's a very nutritious meal. I am being a little bit veganish right now. I know I was doing the blood type O diet there for a couple of months because I was eating a lot of beef, which I needed to because I was having a problem with anemia. I'm doing much, much better right now. I got my blood test results. I am normal, I'm healthy, I am good. But those foods, the change in my diet was making me slowly creep up in weight. I was gaining weight, but my body was getting healthier as far as my hemoglobin, my iron, my ferritin, all of that. So now I am trimming down, so I'm going back to a more vegan type of meal plan for the time being because for whatever reason, that tends to help me lose weight. So that's what I'm doing for now. I may add some fish in. Michael is coming. You guys know Michael. He's my main provider man. He is flying out the day before my surgery. He's going to help me after surgery. I'm going to have him buy some fish. After surgery, once he's here, I'm going to have him cook me fish. So I'll probably be eating salmon as my protein. I'm probably going to up my protein to 9 ounces per meal instead of 6 because it's going to help my body heal, especially because my face is still healing right now. And then I'm also going to have the torso plasty I'm trying to heal at the same time. My body's going to need a lot of protein to heal all of my wounds. And I'm going to be having plant proteins, yes, but I'm also going to be having some animal proteins during that time. And I also am doing this shake at night. It's a pumpkin seed protein shake. It has no sugar in it. It has no artificial sugar. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat flour. That's part of my food program. It controls my binge eating disorder. I have an allergy to sugar and flour, and that's what triggers my binge eating episodes. So as long as I stay away from sugar and flour, the demon inside of me goes to sleep and I don't go crazy for food. If I only knew this earlier in life, it literally took me, I found this program when I was in my 30s and it changed my life with food completely. I never knew that I was intolerant to sugar and flour. I ate sugar and flour all the time. I didn't know it was affecting me, and that was the reason I was a binge eater and I was out of control all my life with food. I thought I had a discipline problem. It was not discipline. It was I was having a brain reaction to the sugar and flour that made me out of control. It was not a discipline problem at all. Some people can't handle sugar and flour. It changes their brain and leaves them in a vulnerable state where they literally cannot say no. It's addiction. Some people are addicted to sugar and flour, and it creates binge eating episodes, just like some people are allergic to alcohol. That's why some people, when they drink, they binge drink, they become alcoholics. And some people can have a glass of wine and they just go home and everything's normal. Those people are not allergic to alcohol. That's why they don't binge on it. It's the same thing with sugar and flour. It's the same thing with lots of things in life. If you are addicted to sugar and flour, it will create a situation inside of you that you will not be able to control. Just like an alcoholic, if they have 1 glass of alcohol, it will create a situation inside of them that they cannot control. So you might want to do some more research on that, ladies, if you think you may have that problem. It's a problem a lot of people have and they have no idea. They just think they have a discipline problem with food, and it's not that. They are literally allergic to sugar and flour, and it sets them off into a very dark space of being completely out of control with food and struggling for years and years and years and years. So that's what I'm going to be eating while I'm out here. Oh, for my last meal of the day, I do have 6 ounces of fruit. I do 3 ounces of berries with 4 ounces of Greek yogurt, 1 ounce of oatmeal dry. When you cook it, it turns into about 4 ounces. And then I do the pumpkin seed protein shake. I like to do that when I'm doing a more vegan type of diet to make sure my protein is high enough. So that gives me 40 grams of protein. And I do 8 ounces of almond milk with that unsweetened almond milk. And then I put 3 ounces of frozen pineapples in there just to sweeten it up. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be eating. This is what I've been eating the past month, and I've shed a lot of weight. The weight I gained when I was doing the blood type O diet to help myself with my anemia. And now I've been shedding that weight to get ready for my abdominoplasty, to make the skin nice and loose. So there's just like a lot of hangy skin. He can just come in, he can cut it all off, sew it up nice and tightly. And that's the plan. All right, ladies, this video is long enough. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here throughout my journey. And I hope you guys stayed around long enough to see the end of the video. Put 3 hearts in the comment section so I can see if you made it to the end. I know these are kind of like different topics, talking about the strip club tips, and now we're talking about plastic surgery and nutrition, food addiction. Look at this snatched jawline. Oh my God. Can you believe it? Look at that. It's so tight. It's hard for me to do any position where I see a double chin now. And look at, I don't have anything hanging here anymore like I used to. I totally look like how I did when I was 29. I remember my face being like this. And even then, when I was 29, I still did have a bit of a double chin because I've just naturally always had a double chin all my life. It's just genetic, I think. Like most people in my family just have a double chin, even when they're at a slimmer weight. So I can say that the way my face looks right now is very similar to the way it was when I was about 28, 29, 30 years old. And it's actually better in some ways because my jaw is even more snatched than it was back then. Okay, ladies, gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye for now. Look out for Mistress Diaries. It's coming out soon at the Sugar Lady Academy. If you want to know more about that lifestyle and the psychology of the men that are participating in these types of relationships, that's where you'll find all that. Okay, ladies, talk to you later. Bye for now.